course, are in the Fab Lab, a very special live stream experience of it called the Fab Lab Digital Daycare. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging around and waiting for us to start. I am so stoked to say thank you to our awesome Portland local female-founded businesses, Rain the Growth Agency, for being our awesome media partner, and of course, Living Room Realty for being so awesome and providing us a home to come to you live in. Woo-hoo! I'm so stoked for today. We've been talking about springtime science for the past couple of weeks. It's beautiful outside. All of us are home right now. Shout out, it is National Pajama Day, National Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day. But since most of us are home, we're probably celebrating that just fine. So there you go. It's also National High Five Day, and I sent out a couple of shout outs on Instagram and on Twitter. I want to see how you're going to celebrate National High Five Day, since we're trying to keep our germs to ourselves, not touching people, keeping social distance. So how in the world are we going to celebrate National High Five Day together? I want to see your videos and your photos on Instagram and on Twitter, so make sure your parents hook me up with a couple of tags, because I would love to see what you come up with. Me and my director Marceau came up with a super fun way to do a virtual high five, a almost high five, and a high five illusion. So go check us out in our Instagram stories right now if you're watching live on the live day, because it's so fun and I want to see yours. I'm stoked also because we are going to be talking about birds in the Fab Lab today. I love birds. The little things with wings that hang out outside of your windows. You might see them on the street corners when you're walking to and fro. Birds are everywhere. There is not a single environment that birds cannot be found. And this project is going to help turn you into an ornithologist. What is an ornithologist, you ask? Let's wash our hands, gather our supplies, and when I come back, I will talk to you about what that is. Let's wash our hands. Boop. Awesome.
Wash your hands, everybody. Wash your hands to the beat. Wash your hands, everybody. Wash your hands with me. First, put the water on hot. Put some soap on your hands. Gotta wash your hands a whole lot. Keep clean hands is the plan.
That's the plan.
Now rinse them. Give them a shake.
Do the shake.
Dry your hands. I said dry your hands. Wash your hands and don't touch your face.
Well, hello. Hopefully your hands are nice and wet or drying. Mine are drying. I just washed my hands. I'm gonna flap them like my wings. Boop, 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 tweet, tweet, tweet. Okay, so today, friends, we are going to be DIY at-home ornithologists. Now, what is an ornithologist? An ornithologist is someone who studies birds. Ornithology is the study of birds. So anyone that studies birds is an ornithologist. I am an amateur ornithologist, if you want to, if I can even claim that. For the past 10 years, I've been participating in several amazing citizen science projects that are specific to birds. Now, what is citizen science? Citizen science transforms people like you and me, people who don't have doctorate degrees, people who don't work in laboratories, people who have totally different jobs and interests in their life, and it helps us to participate in scientific research and data gathering that helps labs and professional scientists do their work, make discoveries, developments, find things out to help the whole world of science come together in a really awesome way. Citizen science is also known as community science, crowd or crowdsourced science, and also volunteer gathering. Anyone can participate in citizen science so long as you have an interest. It doesn't matter how old you are, what color you are, where you live, and you don't even have to be fully that into birds, because NASA has a citizen science project. other wildlife and conservation efforts have it. If you want to find out more about citizen science and citizen science projects in your area, you can check out SciStarter.com, or National Geographic has an awesome page on their website that will introduce you to the countless other citizen science projects in your area and the different areas that you can get involved in. Now, like I said, I have been involved in citizen science projects having to do with birds for the past 10 years. The first one I ever did was the New York City Bird Watch with the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And then when I moved here to Portland a few years ago, I got hooked up with some friends at Portland Audubon, and I got involved in the backyard bird count and the raptor watch. But when I'm not doing official citizen science projects, I'm sitting at home, gazing out of my window, listening very intently for bird songs. Those are so, and out of my window in my apartment, I have a huge holly tree, and in that holly tree, right about now, like March, April, May, my favorite little birds make their appearance. Hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are my favorite bird in the world. They're super teeny, tiny, and they are so cute and interesting. And some variations of hummingbirds are absolutely gorgeous. Birds in general are gorgeous, but hummingbirds in particular, to me, are my absolute favorite. They move really fast, and they make sounds with their wings. They're called hummingbirds, and a lot of people think that they're called hummingbirds because they have a bird song, but they actually don't. The hum that comes from birds is actually from their wings, because their wings are flying so fast. Like, I think it's 10 to 15 flaps per second. Can you do 10 to 15 eye blinks per second? Try. No. I don't think I can get to 3 eye blinks in 1 second. Imagine flapping your wings 10 to 15 times per second. Now, because I love hummingbirds so much, and all birds honestly, and I'm interested in observing them and identifying them and getting to hear what their songs are, what their different songs are, I need something to help them come near, right? Come nearby so they can get close enough for me to see them. And the best thing that you can do, and the best thing that I can do, is make bird feeders. If you're interested in some other more involved bird feeders, you can totally check out the DIY bird feeder episode of the Fab Lab, where me and Aslan make 2 awesome, beautiful bird feeders, with one with gelatin, another one out of a beautiful, cute little teacup. It's one of my favorite projects in the whole world. Super easy, ultra fabulous. Aslan is such a fun kid to hang around, so you should totally check that project out on the channel. After the live is over, I'll make sure to tweet it out and send it out on Instagram. But today in the Fab Lab, we're gonna make even easier, if you can imagine, even easier bird feeders that you can make right now. And I mean literally in this exact second. So I want you to grab, hopefully you are signed up for the nightly newsletter where you got your ingredients list, your ingredients and supply list, or I hope your parents are following us on Twitter or Instagram at Aunt Lindsey or the Fab Lab HQ, where the supply list was tweeted out this morning, because all you're going to need for our first bird feeder, and both of them are so super duper easy, is a toilet or paper towel roll, and peanut butter. This is the peanut butter that we used yesterday to make our delicious Fab Lab Kids Crudité. So just some peanut butter, all natural peanut butter. You're gonna wanna get the kind that's just peanut butter and salt, or peanut butter only. You can even kind of get the more specialty kind that has, sugar and honey and things like that in it. You don't really wanna get that because sometimes there are ingredients in there that aren't the best for birds. So stick with as natural and pure peanut butter as you can, or really any nut butter, nut or seed butter. Oh, these are the Fab Lab seed bombs that we made earlier this week. I'm super excited. They're completely dry, and I'm gonna toss these in a garden in the next couple of days. I'll just move these out of the way. Great. Okay. So all you're gonna need for this project, like I said, is a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll. And you're pretty literally going to 1, 2, 3. You're going to smother it with peanut butter and then you're gonna roll it in birdseed. That is it. So grab your toilet paper roll and your peanut butter. A butter knife is gonna help this to be, help to stir and smear your peanut butter just to get it nice and ready for you. Awesome. Okay, so take a nice heap of peanut butter and just start smearing it on your toilet paper roll. This is just about it, my friends. Sometimes peanut butter can get all over the place. This is a reminder, if you have a nut allergy, a tree nut allergy, this is for sure not a project that you should do or a version of a project that you should do. But the next one will be perfect for you if you are allergic to nuts, tree nuts. This peanut butter project is definitely a little dangerous for people who have the allergies. So don't do this version of the project if you have a nut allergy, or if the friend that you're hanging out with, or one of your siblings, and stay tuned because we'll have a project for you guys. Okay, awesome. So you're gonna wanna get your peanut butter as thick as you can because it's gonna help the next step and the next step. And not only that, but the birds will love you. Birds love peanut butter. They absolutely love, love, love peanut butter. And so do their friends, squirrels. So you will be the talk of the town the thicker your butter is, your peanut butter is. Okay, so this looks pretty good. And now the next thing I'm going to do is set this aside. And then I'm going to get some birdseed. Now this is just sunflower chips and sunflower seeds, peanut pieces, grain, and Malay. This is edible to you and me. It's just seeds. That's all that it is. Things that you and I would eat. Peanut pieces, we would eat that. Sunflower seeds were one of my favorite things to eat as a kid growing up. So maybe I was always destined to be a fan of birds. Maybe birds are just in my heart because I love nuts and I love seeds. And so for this, all you're gonna do, you can pour it on if you want. I like to get some in my hand and just sprinkle away. And the peanut butter is what's going to help this stay. Oh, you know what? Let's do it like this. I'm just gonna pour some peanut butter, some birdseed on my plate. There we go. I'm gonna spread it out and then I'm gonna roll. Let's see what happens with rolling. Much better, okay. There we go. So I'm just gonna pack the seeds onto my peanut buttered toilet roll. Awesome. Just gonna pack it. And look at how cute these are. I mean, the seeds really transform the toilet paper roll. This entire project is biodegradable, so when you leave it outside, it's not going to add any waste to the planet because when it rains, the paper towel roll will get soggy. After a while, when the birds are finished eating the seeds, it will disintegrate over time. The seeds themselves, if the birds don't eat them, will lend themselves to the soil. Maybe even you'll sprout a couple sunflowers, depending upon what kind of seed mix you're using. And so I'm just really packing these seeds onto my peanut buttered roll. The more seeds, the better. And this seed, this toilet paper roll, this toilet paper bird feeder would probably last in the springtime, probably about a week or two. That's how long it'll take the birds to eat all the seeds off. And like I said, because this is a awesome project that includes compostable elements, You won't have to worry about going back to it, finding it, leaving waste on the ground. That's totally fine. Awesome. Now look at how cute these are. Now what you can do next, now there's peanut butter all over my fingers, but what you can do next is you can either just hang the roll, find a good branch, and stick it right on a branch of the tree, or you can find some string. I don't have any string nearby, so I'm gonna use a pipe cleaner. I wouldn't use a pipe cleaner normally, I just don't have any string handy. So what I would do is I would thread a string, and I would tie it at the top, and then I would hang it like this. And I might make, 5 or 10 of these. I've got quite a few paper towel rolls handy, paper towel and toilet paper rolls handy. So I could make tens and tens and tens of these as a project if I'm a little bit bored or if I want something to do outside. And I can hang these in all the trees in my neighborhood and watch all the awesome birds flock to my neighborhood. Okay. So this is one bird feeder, and again, you can do this with a toilet paper roll, or you can do it with a paper towel roll. I'm gonna rinse my hands now. I'm just gonna go over and rinse the peanut butter off of my hands. Here we go. Awesome. I'm just rinsing and washing. Awesome. Okay, friends. Okay, thanks for hanging out and standing by. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is a bottle feeder, a bottle bird feeder. And all I'm going to use for this is some discarded drink bottles. In this case, I've got a mini water bottle that I already got started with this, and then a big sports drink bottle. It doesn't matter what size, birds will just appreciate having food sources anywhere. So this is what I'm gonna do with these. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, this one has holes in it already, so I'll just actually start with this one. Clean out your water bottle and dry it. Mine is just about dry, so I'll just get started. And the next thing you're going to do is grab something that has a sharp end. You're for sure going to want to have assistance with an adult, so a parent, an older sibling, someone that can safely use sharp objects. So in this case, I'm going to use a wine opener with a corkscrew, and I'm going to first poke some holes in the top. So I've poked 2 holes here. I don't know if you can see this in the overhead. So I just poked a hole on this side and then a hole on this side. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to, again with string, I can use a pipe cleaner for this one, but a string also works. I'm going to thread my pipe cleaner or my string through the 2 holes on either side. Here we go. And then twisting it to the top. And this will be where I hang my bird feeder. This will be how I hang it. Okay, so that step 1 is done. The next step is this. You're going to want to create perches for your birds, a place for them to land so they can sit and eat comfortably. And all I'm going to use for that are these awesome chopsticks. We've been using chopsticks and takeout food utensils a lot in the Fab Lab these last couple of weeks because so many of us are eating out right now, and we've got tons of extra utensils and tools, and all the Fab Lab projects use everything that's just around the house. And so this is a great project to use with either popsicle sticks or with chopsticks. So I'm going to use my chopsticks and my popsicle sticks to create perches for my birds. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my corkscrew again, and very, very carefully, I'm going to make holes on either side of my bottle. So I'm gonna start here toward the bottom, and I'm gonna very carefully poke a hole. There we go, that was pretty easy. I was very nervous about that. And I'm just gonna make the hole kind of smaller than, but large enough to fit the actual stick in fit it in. So I'm gonna size it, let's see. Okay, oh, there we go. Getting the corkscrew out. And then I'm just gonna test it and see. Oh, perfect, okay. Okay, perfect. So here's one hole. I'm gonna put another hole on the opposite side toward the bottom. So I'm just gonna puncture it. Boop. Be very careful when you're puncturing. Be very, very careful. Again, if you're teeny tiny, you should definitely make sure you've got parental supervision or support from an older teenage sibling. These are super fun projects to do together as a family. And everything here is reducing, reusing, and recycling. So the next thing I'm gonna do is take my chopstick and I'm going to thread it through my bottle and fish around and find the other hole. There we go. Perfect. Look at this. There's my first perch. So this is where my bird, once I hang it outside, this is where they'll land. They'll land here. Now, they need a way to access the food, right? So we're going to make some holes that are on both sides of the bottle, slightly larger than the hole that we made for our chopstick. I'm gonna take this out just to make it easier. So I'm gonna find the hole that I'm using for my perch, and then I'm gonna puncture it just above it. Okay. And I'm going to try and make it a little bit, I'm gonna wiggle it around. I'm gonna wiggle my puncturer around a little bit because my next step is I'm going to want to grab a pair of scissors. Here are my Fab Lab scissors. Grab a pair of scissors to make the hole bigger. So hopefully you have some scissors or you have an adult that has access to scissors that make cutting plastic a little bit easier. You can totally use a pocket knife for this, but again, you're gonna want support from an adult. Awesome. So this is just about the right size. So you see the size difference? I'm gonna bring this up to the overhead camera and hopefully you can see it. So here's where the perch is gonna go. And then this is gonna be where the birds are gonna be able to access their food. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay. So I'm gonna find my perch hole, and then I'm gonna go up just a bit, and I'm gonna poke a hole in it, like so. Oops. This is tough industrial plastic. Okay, and then I'm gonna stick my scissors in, and I'm going to widen my hole just so. Here we go. Nice. Okay. Nice. Does not have to be perfect to be fabulous. Okay. Nice job. Okay. So now I'm going to, and the next thing I'm gonna wanna do is make drainage holes at the bottom. So I'm just gonna make a few drainage holes just in case it rains. And they don't have to be that big. You actually don't want them to be too big because you're gonna put bird seed in and you don't want the bird seed to fall out. So just a few holes, maybe 3 or 4 of them on the bottom, and just pricks. Awesome. Now I'm gonna put my perch back. And you know what, actually, I wanna make 2 perches. I'm gonna make 2 perches so that more than one bird can eat at the same time. And I'm gonna make my other perch right here. Awesome. Awesome, and then I'm gonna go over to the other side and same thing. Awesome. Awesome, guys. Hopefully you're following along. I would love to see your bird feeders. And if you're not using plastic and you're using other things, I'd love to see what you come up with. Okay. Okay, here's one perch. And then here's another perch. Okay, awesome. So now, up to 4 birds can land and have a nice breakfast. Awesome. So now I'm gonna do with this is fill this with bird seed. I wish I had a FabLab funnel to make this easier. So let's just see how it goes. So I'm just gonna fill my recycled sports drink bottle with seeds. Nice. So I'm just filling my seeds, my bottle with seeds. I bet this looks like a lot of fun at the overhead. Awesome. Okay. Then I'm just gonna gather up everything that was filled out. Awesome. Gather them up, gather them up. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna move my plastic pieces out of the way because I don't want my birds to eat any plastic discards. So I'm just gonna make sure that all that is out of the way. And I'm just going to keep filling it up. Perfect. Awesome. So sweet. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but birds actually have hollow bones. They have hollow bones, and scientists believe that that's why it helps them to fly. Birds are such incredible little beings, and they, in some cases, still to this day, completely confound scientists. And they may be completely confounding to you too. But those are the most fun things to watch. And these bird feeders are gonna help you to watch your birds from the comfort of your home or your backyard. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do, friends, is I'm gonna close this up, and I'm gonna hang it, and that's it. These are adorable reduce, reuse, recyclable projects that will help you to meet the birds in your neighborhood. And again, birds can be found absolutely anywhere. If you live in a big, giant city, or if you live in a teeny tiny town, you will be able to attract the birds that are native to your area. Now, one of the things that helps you to see birds better is, number 1, closing your mouth and opening your ears, because you're more likely to hear a bird than see one. Yes, when they're flying around, they'll catch your eye, but you're more likely to find the different kinds in your area by opening your ears and listening, because they spend so much time hiding out in trees, and they really only go out when they're looking for food. But if you hear something and you can't quite see where it's coming from, binoculars might be helpful. Now, binoculars are almost like handheld magnifying glasses. That's exactly what they are, actually. They can be very expensive, and so a really great project to get started with before you go out and buy any binoculars is to use toilet rolls. Again, simple little toilet rolls, and we can turn these into binoculars. This is gonna look hilarious, but it also works. Just putting them in your eyes like this will help you to zero in and focus in on some of the areas that a bird might be, and you'll be able to see it much clearer. So I want you to grab a couple of toilet rolls, I want you to go outside, and I want you to find the birds in your neighborhood. Now we can make these fabulous bird binoculars by decorating them. So grab 2 toilet paper rolls. I'm gonna grab a plate. And we're just gonna decorate some binoculars. Now for me, I want to paint and glitterize mine. And so that's just what I'm gonna do. I don't have a paintbrush handy, but I do have an old toothbrush. So I'm gonna just grab some of my favorite paint. This is my favorite paint all over. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the bristles of my paint brush or my toothbrush. And I'm just going to paint my binoculars. It doesn't matter how pretty this is because, like I said, I'm gonna glitterize them. And they're going to be adorable. A toothbrush is a great substitute for a paintbrush. You could probably come up with some really cool designs. But in my case, this is just gonna act like a glue for my glitter because, you know, glitter's where it's at. Glitter's all that matters to me. So I'm just using my toothbrush to paint my toilet paper rolls that are gonna become my Fab Lab binoculars. These are the perfect first binoculars for any kid and family. Super accessible. All it is toilet paper rolls held up to your eyes, and it helps your eyes focus in on the specific areas that you might find a bird, like up in a tree, up on rocks and places. It helps to block out all the other things where it doesn't magnify, which is what most binoculars are actually for. It magnifies the area, but this will help to block out all the spatial pollution that's around you, so you can really zero in and see clearer in the little secret nooks and crannies of different trees and places in parks or right in your neighborhood where you might hear the birds before you actually see them. Okay. And here I am using my toothbrush to paint my toilet paper roll. I used similar toilet paper rolls earlier in this episode, or earlier in this segment to make a bird feeder, and now I'm making bird binoculars. Awesome. And so now I'm gonna do is hit this with a little bit of glitter, because you know Crazy Aunt Lindsay loves her glitter. So all I'm gonna do is shake a bit of glitter onto my just painted toilet paper roll. Awesome. I might even do the bird feeder strategy and just roll it on the plate to pick up all the glitter. Yep, it's working just good. So cute. Then I'm gonna let these dry, and then I will tape them together. And I'll tape them together like this. And these will be my DIY homemade binoculars that I will go outside and look at birds with. I'm so excited to share these projects with you. I can't wait to share more with you in the days to come. So stick around, because up next we have Active Hour.
Fab Labbers, my name's Chelsea Ray, and today we're gonna do some springtime yoga to calm the heart and plant a seed of peace in our soul. I first wanna start off class with doing a little bit of a talk about yoga and also a breathing exercise. I just wanna remind you all that yoga does not mean to touch your toes. It doesn't mean to take some crazy shape. Yoga means to join, right? So just by joining in to do yoga with me today, without even doing any breathing or any poses, we're already accomplishing yoga, right? Joining our breath with our movement to create peace in our hearts, and joining each other all around the world to do this amazing practice is what yoga is all about. And during this time in life, right? There's a lot of things that we're not sure about. There's a lot of things going on. Adults are talking about things that might make us feel a little bit of anxiety or fear. And I just want to remind you that fear is an emotion that keeps you safe, right? So we don't need to get hard on ourselves for being scared or nervous. It's totally fine. Fear is the emotion that keeps us from getting in trouble, right? It's something that we notice in our body, and then we say, wait, am I really in danger right now? Do I really need to worry right now? Sometimes maybe yes, but for the most part, no, right? So we use yoga to accomplish pushing out fear, right? Because we don't want fear to stifle our confidence, our courage, or our calmness. And so that being said, I would like to do a little breathing exercise that helps us maybe calm down our heart and our mind and allows us to not let fear take over, okay? So we're gonna do something called alternate nostril breathing. What alternate nostril breathing does is it actually works for calming down our nervous system. That's what activates, that's what gives us that anxiety, that tightness on our chest, right? So we do alternate nostril breathing to get a little bit more peaceful inside. So we're gonna take the oxygen in through one nostril, hold it at the top, and then let the oxygen out the other nostril, all right? You wanna join with me? Okay, first things first, plug your nose. Right? Can we plug our nose and make a funny little sound? All right, so our nose is plugged. We're gonna open one nostril and close our mouth. Take an inhale. Close your nostril, exhale out the other side. Good. Inhale. Close that nostril, open up the other nostril, let the breath out. Inhale through that side, close it, exhale out the other. Inhale, close it off, exhale, good. Just a few more rounds through the nose. Close it, hold it tight, exhale out the other side. Inhale. Close it off, exhale out the other side. Good, one last time. Breathe in. Close it. Exhale, let it go. All right, and then bring your hands to the tops of your legs. All together, let's take one big breath of air through the nose, through both nostrils. Fill up. Poof your belly up like a big balloon, and then exhale, sigh it out your mouth. So anytime you feel fear, and then you really think about it and say, do I need to be fearful right now? Am I safe? Yes. Am I nervous? Yes, and that's okay, right? Maybe I need to do some breathing exercises. So you can do alternate nostril breathing anywhere you're at, any time of the day, right? So put that in your back pocket, save it for later. Another thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about is a word called mantra. A mantra is a positive word or saying that we repeat to ourselves over and over. And so I want you to think about a positive word that you can repeat over and over. Maybe that's courage, maybe it's calmness, maybe it's confidence, maybe it's hope, peace, love, or joy. I'm gonna choose happiness, just happiness. Right? And that's a word that you can come back to, or you can say, I am happy, I am calm, I am happy, I am calm. Anytime you're in yoga class and your mind is like wandering all around and you can't focus, you can repeat your own specific mantra, right? So let's make it to our mats, right? Just before we do, I want you to put your mantra into a seed, like a little seed from a flower. Right? I have my seed right here. Can you hold up your seed? Yep, my seed's purple. And my seed and my mantra, happiness, right? I am happy, I am calm. I'm gonna take that seed and I'm gonna swallow it. And it's gonna go down, down, down. So I want you to take your seed, whatever color it is, whatever shape, swallow it down. Imagine it going down, down, down into your heart. And we're gonna plant it there, right? And we're gonna cover our heart with one hand and then the other. Plant that seed, close your eyes, think of your word, happiness, calm, hope, peace, courage, whatever it is. And I want you to take that to your mat and lie down on your back. I'll meet you there. Okay, get all settled in to our first pose, do nothing pose. Lie down, wiggle your body around from side to side, get really comfy in your mat, spread your arms, spread your legs out. Close your eyes and start to take deep breaths in and out through your nose. And continue to take these deep breaths and imagine in your mind's eye somewhere outside, somewhere in nature, maybe a meadow or a forest, maybe a mountain. You can even imagine a place you've already been, like your backyard or a garden of some sort. And as you lie here on your back, feel the soft grass underneath your feet. Notice the sky and the color of blue that it is. Maybe your sky is purple or pink. And just really imagine the most beautiful place in nature that you can think of. There might be trees there, maybe some animal friends start to come in, like you might see a bird in the sky or a little frog might hop by. Just observing everything that you imagine in your mind. And then coming back to the heart space where we planted our seed, our mantra of positivity. And imagine that you have another one of those seeds that you're going to plant here in this garden or the meadow or the forest, wherever it is that you imagined. And you can think of a new positive word, or maybe it's the same one, maybe it came from the same flower as the seed in your heart. And bringing it with you into this space. Start to open your eyes, still imagining that you're in this beautiful, magical place. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Maybe it's the morning time in your magic space. Maybe it's the afternoon or early evening. Maybe it's even night. Wherever you are right now, bring your knees into your chest. Make yourself that little baby seed of positivity. You are courage. You are strength. And rock from side to side. Make yourself the tiniest little seed you can. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Good. And then start to pump your legs. Rock and roll your seed up to a seat. Really nice, you guys. You can rock back a couple times, maybe 4 or 5 times if you're having fun with it. Feel your spine massaging down into the mat. And then you rock yourself up to a seat. Bring your hands to the floor, cross your ankles, and stand up to the top of your mat. Hands come to your heart. I hope you guys have a wonder-filled garden springtime yoga practice today. Inhale, reach your arms high. Make a big circle with your arms like the sun and thank the sun. Thank you, sun. And then as you exhale, thank the rain. Wiggle your fingers as you come all the way down to the floor. Pitter patter your fingertips onto the mat. Because we have to have sun and rain, right, to make our seed grow. Inhale, arms reach up. Thank you, sun. Make a big circle with your arms. Good. Exhale, forward fold as the rain comes down. Pitter patter all over the ground. And then push your seed down into the earth. into your meadow, wherever you are, your forest. And we're gonna inhale and reach our arms up. Watch our beautiful tree of peace grow. Hands to your heart. Bring your hands to your hips for tree pose. I'm gonna spin towards you. You stay where you are. Spin one set of toes to the side. The sole of your foot comes up your leg. Hands come to your heart. Your foot might come below your knee to your calf or above the knee. Either way, you choose. Be a beautiful tree. Grow tall. Maybe your arms reach up as tree branches. You can make a tree branch shape in your arms. Any tree branch shape you'd like. Good. Hands to your heart, to your hips. Spin your knee forward, plant your tree trunk down. Other side. Every time we do a pose in yoga, we have to repeat it on the other side. So bring your foot up to your thigh. Maybe your foot comes below your knee to your calf. That's fine too. That's just as good as if you bring it up to your thigh. Breathe, stand tall. Good, balancing. And if you fall, oop, I fell. If you fall, it's okay. You get right back in the pose. Do not judge it. Be here, be with yourself. So proud you made it to yoga class today. Bring your hands to your hips. Spin your knee forward, plant your foot down. Inhale, your arms up high to the ceiling. Make your big sun arms. Exhale, the rain comes down to nourish the plants and the animals. And then as you walk along in your beautiful garden or your meadow, bend your knees because there's a really cool little bench that we're gonna sit on so we can observe everything going on. We can take a moment to close our eyes. Take those big breaths in and out. And as we sit on our bench, we see a beautiful little bird. Hop on over to the bird bath next to the bench. Float your arms by your sides like bird wings. Straighten your legs a little bit. Lift your heels. Be a drinking bird. Taking in all that delicious, yummy rainwater out of the bird bath. Good. Again, bench pose. Sit in your bench. Reach your arms up. Hands to your heart. Stay here, sit your hips a little lower. You can do it. You're so strong. Again, notice your bird right alongside you. Fly your wings. Straighten your legs a little. Lift your heels. And then start to tip your head towards the floor like you're drinking out of that delicious bird bath. Really nice, you guys. Bend your knees one more time. Bench pose. Sit in your bench. Hands to heart. Close your eyes. And then slowly, 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 we sit all the way down. Sit, 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 plop onto our bum. Our soles of the feet come together and our arms come underneath our legs. So crazy, right? Yoga is awesome because we get to make all these silly shapes with our body, right? This is flower pose. It's another thing that's in our garden or our forest. All kinds of beautiful flowers. Maybe your flowers are purple and pink, maybe they're blue. And then let your flower petals kind of gently wave in the wind. You can wiggle your fingers. Release your arms from underneath your legs. Grab for your feet. A little butterfly flies by. Butterfly pose. Let your butterfly wings flap up and down. Good. And then another butterfly flies by. Now there's like 4 or 5. And then 6 or 7, and before you know it, there's all these beautiful butterflies surrounding you. Reach your other butterfly wings up, reach your arms, and then give yourself a big butterfly hug. Yeah, good job. Reach your butterfly wings out to the side, and then bring them behind your back. Maybe you interlace your fingers behind your back and lift your butterfly chest up towards the ceiling. And reach your arms up. And exhale, relax your butterfly, let your chest fall over your feet. Close your eyes. 3 breaths, let's count them together. That's a breath in and out, that's 1 cycle, okay? We'll count them together for 1, 2, good, 3. All right, and roll up. Really slow, hands to your knees, draw your knees in. Just When we thought we've seen so many fun animals already a butterfly and a bird, what next? Hop, hop, hop. I just saw Mr. Frog. Mr. Frog came to visit us. Rock up onto the soles of your feet and then hop your feet to the side. Bring your hands to your heart. Your elbows press into your knees. Make yourself a little frog. Ribbit, ribbit. You can even make frog noises if you want. But what else do frogs do, right? What do they do? What do they do most? They hop. They hop around. So let's hop our frog. Ready? On the count of 3, we're going to hop up. Ready? 1, 2, 3, hop. Good. And again, 1, 2, 3, hop. Yeah. Again, 1, 2, 3, hop. Yes. 2 more times. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Ribbit, ribbit. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And then come back down to your frog pose. So nice, you guys. Whew. I'm really getting a workout here. The cool thing about yoga is we not only get a workout, but we get a work in because it creates peace in our heart and our mind. That's what makes yoga the best. Okay, bring your hands to the mat and then come back down onto your shins, hips to your heels. Make yourself a tiny little bee. Bzz. Head comes down to the mat. Your knees are together and your arms are along by your sides. Imagine you're a bumblebee flying by, flying through all the butterflies, saying hello, and the butterflies also saying hello back. And let your head rest. Get a hold of your breath. Big inhales and exhales. The next inhale, fill up really big. On the exhale, bzzz. Till you can't buzz anymore. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Bzzz. One more. Big breath in. Big bee breath in. And then a bumblebee. Bzzz. On the breath out. Really nice, you guys. Crawl your hands forward and tuck your toes because little puppy dog just started to trot on by. Of course our puppy dog had to come and see what's going on, see what beautiful seeds of peace we're planting today. Tuck your toes, send your hips up, and then allow your puppy dog to take a little walk around the forest or the meadow. And then puppies are really playful, right? So he starts to like jog around and then run around. So just start to pedal your feet, lift them up and down and run around through the garden. Bring your knees to your chest, good. Really getting that heart rate going. Nice, you guys. And then bring your puppy dog paws back. Take a breath in and send your heels a little closer to the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Press the mat away. Nice. Then inhale forward. You're going to bring your shoulders over your wrists. Your knees come to the mat. Keep your elbows tight. Come all the way down to your belly. Slide back a little bit onto your mat. Just now, a gardener snake slithers by. Not a scary one, a very nice Mrs. Gardener snake. Press your hips down. Lift your chest. Good. You can float your hands right alongside you. You little gardener snake, lift your chest. Breathe through it. We're almost there. You got it. One more inhale. Exhale. Bring one cheek down to the mat. Be really still. Be really quiet so the gardener snake will stay. Right? Because if we make a lot of noise, it might get scared and run away. Okay, and so if we're really, really quiet, oh my gosh, guess what? Another gardener snake comes. But this one's kind of bigger. Oh my gosh. Okay, be really quiet. We're gonna plant our hands right next to us. Okay, lift your chest like the first little Mr. Baby Gardener Snake, and then press your hands down so much it lifts your whole chest. Even your knees. You press the tops of your feet down and lift your head up. Be a beautiful gardener snake. Maybe you're even rainbow colored. Maybe you're yellow or orange, whatever color it is. Take a breath in. And then very quiet, very slowly. We don't want to scare them. Come back down to the mat. Good. Tuck your toes under. Hips to your heels. This one's a lot like bee pose, but it's bunny, all right? We're gonna do bunny pose because Mrs. Bunny just hopped by, right? She had to come visit Frog and Butterfly and all the other magical creatures in our peaceful heart garden. Bring your forehead down, reach for your heels. Yeah, good, and then lift your bum up. This is bunny pose, so your head is in the mat, or on the mat rather. Your bum is lifted up in the air. You can stay here, or if you want to make bunny ears with your arms, interlace your hands behind you and stretch your arms back. This is just an option. If this does not feel good, don't do it. Release your hands and bring your hands back to your heels. Keep breathing. Deep breaths in and out. Release your hands. Let your bunny ears flop back down and slowly crawl yourself back up to your puppy pose. This puppy has to come say hello to Bunny now, of course. Good. And stay here, take a breath in, and then let the breath go. Stick out your tongue just like a puppy. Good. One more time. Inhale. And then smile and exhale like a happy puppy. Stick out your tongue. Let all the air out. Really nice, you guys. And come back through to a seat. And shift onto your bum. And then come all the way down to your back. Lie down. Spread your arms, spread your legs out really wide. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. Make yourself like a little roly-poly bug. Right? Or like your seat. Rolling a little bit from side to side. Arms go out to this side. Let your knees fall over to one side of your mat. Take a little twist. And closing your eyes, imagining your back, of course, in your garden, still there. Or your forest or meadow, wherever it is. And gently bring your legs back up through center. Your little roly-poly bug here. And then to your arms out to the side. Let your knees fall over to the other side. And bring your legs back up to your roly-poly bug, and then rock and roll a little bit. Massage that spine one last time. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Make yourself that tiny little seed, and then on the exhale, explode into your final rest. Let your arms, let your legs go wide. Close your eyes. Say thank you to your garden, your forest, all the animals that we met today, all the shapes we were able to create in our body. And just remember that you can come back to this place that you imagine at any time, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what time of day it is. This is your special place, and it's always there for you. So tell the trees, tell the blades of grass, tell all the animals, I'll be back real soon. Closed eyes. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And come back onto your mat. Open your eyes, come into the space that you're in. And slowly bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Come up to a seat. Cross your shins. Bring your hands to your heart. In yoga, when we finish practice, we say one word. That means the light in me bows to the light in you. Okay, so I'm going to bring my prayered hands from my heart to my head and bow down to each and every one of you and say namaste. Namaste, you guys. Thank you so much for coming to your yoga mat and for doing yoga with me and growing a beautiful little seed of peace in your heart. Wow, that was a pretty awesome workout, or work in. Let's see what crazy Aunt Lindsey is cooking up in the Fab Lab lunchbox.
Quarantine, why you such a meanie? Know you want me to grow up, why you keep me isolated? I wear the beanie, not meant to be teeny. I got plans gonna leave, when you gonna set me free? I know you want this for my life, We got TP on lock inside quick playing me, coming night deep, quick play.
Oh my god, it's gonna hit the cheese. I can feel it. Everybody's crazy. Lindsey. Oh god. And you are in the Fab Lab lunchbox. I am so thrilled for today's recipe because we're doing a classic sandwich with an extra element of goddess delight. Yes, we are making a Fab Lab goddess sandwich with mozzarella cheese and sprouts. Are you ready? I am too. So the first thing you're gonna do for this sandwich is get your bread ready. I love a good rustic Italian bread, so I'm just gonna take my slices and pop them into the toaster while we build the rest of our sandwich. So I'm just gonna bring these out, turn this down. Okay, awesome. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is break out our handy dandy hand blender to make our awesome dressing. So for this dressing, all you're going to use is a little bit of Greek yogurt, about a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. So here we go, 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt in our hand blender. Nice. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is add to it some tarragon. This is such a special herb. It smells amazing. If it's outside of your price range or if you're having a hard time finding it, you can also substitute this for any other herb that you love. My favorites tend to be basil, actually basil, period. Also, dill is an incredible option for this. It just depends on what your tastes are. And this is also a great sandwich to learn the different herbs and spices that exist in the world that will help make your lunch and your dinner extra special that you would otherwise be a little bit afraid to try. Okay, so here we go, adding tarragon to our 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. And I'm just pulling off the leaves, pulling off the stems. You can do as much or as little as you want. Tarragon is not a subtle herb, but it's just delicate enough to bring anything to a whole new level. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So I've got my tarragon. The next thing we're gonna add is chives. Now, we've talked a lot about the different types of onions that exist in the world, and chives are another one. We had scallions in the Fab Lab lunchbox on Monday, and today we're going to do chives. Now, chives you can buy fresh. I prefer mine fresh, but there are tons of companies that put them in these really, really cute little cups that you can just shake on in any old where. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I've got about a 1/4 cup of chives that I just put into my blender with about a 1/4 cup of tarragon. The next thing I'm going to add to this is a little bit of salt and pepper. Boop. We're making a special, special, special dressing. A little pepper, then I'm going to add some salt. Here we go. I'm gonna put a bit of olive oil in here just to loosen things up. Maybe about a tablespoon or 2. Boop. Okay. And then finally, I'm going to use a nice healthy dash of mayonnaise. About a 1/4 cup. Awesome, perfect. Okay friends, now I'm gonna close this up. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my Greek yogurt just to help get my Greek yogurt to come down. Awesome. And now the last thing I'm going to add to this is lemon. Lemon makes everything so special. It brightens flavors, the juice itself, it helps to make everything move around and extra yummy. And anytime you're using things like green herbs or green vegetables, the citric acid and the vitamin C inside of a lemon help all of the nutrients from the green vegetables absorb into your body better. So it's always a great idea to add lemon flavor, lemon zest to whatever it is that you are making that's green so that your body can metabolize those awesome herbs, those awesome vitamins and minerals better. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll my lemon. I'm gonna cut it in half. Awesome. I'm gonna hit it with some juice. And then I'm gonna do something that might sound a little crazy. I'm going to add some zest to my lemon. And what is the zest? We learned earlier this week that the zest oftentimes holds a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, as well as these wonderful oils that are fragrant and super yummy. And the zest is just the yellow part right before the white part of the rind. So what I'm gonna do, I don't know if you can see this in our overhead, but here's the white part of the lemon, the membrane that holds the lemon together. And then right here, you can just see the super vibrant yellow of your lemon. That's what we're gonna target here. If you have a zester, you can totally use a zester, but if you don't have a zester, that's totally fine. Have an adult help you with this portion, or an older sibling. And of course, you can always rewatch the Fab Lab Knife Skills class that we did with Chef Jacob Valentine. And we're going to very carefully, again, only aim for the yellow part of your zest. Let's look at that in the overhead. Awesome. So here's all the beautiful yellow, and we just got a little bit of the white part. That's okay. So this is going to be just about enough for your green goddess dressing. So I'm going to just chop this up a little bit, and then I'm going to add it to my blender. And now, friends, I'm ready to go to my blender. Once I close this up, awesome, and shake it down a little bit. And I'm just going to pulse a few times. Perfect. And then I might shake it a little bit and hit it just one more time. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, friends, this looks like it's gonna be fantastic and super delicious. So I'm going to set this, oh my gosh, do you see that in the overhead? This smells absolutely amazing. It looks so fun, it's green. You know I love some green. Now we're gonna begin building our sandwich. So sandwiches, in my opinion, are never complete without a little bit of lettuce. And so for this green goddess, this ultra special green goddess sandwich, we're gonna do a little extra delightfulness to our beautiful Bibb lettuce. You can use Bibb lettuce, butter lettuce, Boston lettuce. If you have iceberg, you can totally just use that. Romaine is perfect for this. And all I'm going to do is add a little bit of olive oil to my lettuce, like this, just a touch. A bit of salt and pepper. Perfecto. And then I'm going to hit it with a little bit more of my lemon. Perfect. And then I'm going to just massage it with my fingers. When cooking in the kitchen, it's a wonderful time to use your hands to get to know the different foods that you're going to be using, learning how to touch things, what they feel like, mixing them. Usually mixing is best done with hands, and so that is just what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to give a little light toss with my hands for my lettuce. Perfecto. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could even add some of the dressing to my lettuce before I put it on my sandwich, but I prefer to use my, you'll see. I'm gonna rinse my hands really quickly. Whenever we're cooking in the kitchen, it's super important to be washing your hands at every step. The same way you might clean up, clean as you go. I don't know if your parents have ever told you that, but helping to keep the kitchen clean and keeping our hands clean, and of course keeping each other safe, making sure we're washing for that 20 to 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm just about ready to begin building my sandwich. So here is my toasted bread. Awesome. And now I'm going to put some green goddess lettuce. Yep, I'm gonna put some green goddess dressing on my bread. You don't have to do this step. I like to do this step, so I'm gonna put some dressing on it. I'm gonna grab a Fab Lab butter knife, and I'm just gonna spread it around. Look at those incredible herbs Look at those beautiful, beautiful herbs. Oh my gosh. Look at how beautiful that looks. Ah, okay, awesome. Now I'm going to add one of my favorite things ever, an avocado. So I already cut my avocado, and now I'm going to just quickly slice it. I think we've had avocados in our Fab Lab lunches just about every single day. So this is no stranger to us. So I'm going to take a few slices and add it to one side of my bread. Awesome. Nice job. Cool. So I'm just going to add those there, just like that. And then I'm going to set this aside because we're going to add a little bit of cheese. Now, we made ragout cheese last week in the Fab Lab. Ragout and mozzarella are made in very similar ways, but how they are left to cure are totally different. All I'm going to do with this ragout cheese that cured in a ball versus in a jar, all free, it's nice and compact, so I can cut it like it's, you know, like it's a piece of meat or like it's a tomato. We've been doing lots of tomatoes. It's super easy to cut. So I'm going to cut a few slices of my mozzarella, and I'm going to add this to my sandwich. Beautiful. I'm going to try and get my avocado to stay on there a little bit better. Okay, awesome. Perfect. So now I'm going to add my mozzarella. Nice. Okay. Save that for later. And then next, we're going to add some cucumber because you know the Fab Lab is all about those green vegetables. And I just need a few slices of cucumber. So I'm going to use my Fab Lab kitchen skills, and I'm going to keep my fingers tucked as I slice my cucumber. Ah, this cucumber smells so delicious. I'm going to try and keep these as thin as I can while they're not going to be flimsy, while keeping them from being flimsy. So about 1/8 of an inch, if you can eyeball it. Here we go. Ah, this cucumber, I just want to eat it so bad. I'm so stoked. Okay, so just a few slices of my cucumber. I'm going to bring my plate back, and I'm just going to start layering my cucumbers. And now that I have a few cucumbers on my beautiful sandwich, I'm going to add something that many of you may have never heard of, but are some of my favorite things in the whole world. We can grow them on our own. There are a couple of Fab Labs projects that will help you to make your own. We're going to add sprouts. I am so excited about these sprouts. These are broccoli sprouts. And if you look at them, they look like if you look closely at them, and if you look at the head of broccoli, it almost looks exactly the same. There are so many different types of sprouts that exist, and many sprouts are just from little seeds. And if you look at the bottom of the package, you can see the little seeds that the sprouts cracked out of. Now, not all sprouting seeds are good to eat, but many of them are. Some of my favorite are things like mung beans, and of course, broccoli is one of them too. So I'm gonna just grab some broccoli sprouts, and if you can't find sprouts, or if they're outside of your price range, because these can absolutely be a little expensive, you might wanna go for something like microgreens, like little tiny baby lettuces, or you can also slice a whole broccoli, like a slice of broccoli, as opposed to a floret, a whole slice, and you can put that on. But in this case, we've got some sprouts on hand, and I'm so excited to use them. When I was a kid, I loved sprouts. They tend to taste a little bit sweeter than regular vegetables, and they're really, really fun to have in your mouth. Okay, here you go. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a little bit more of this dressing onto my sprout section of my sandwich. Oh, so good. Nice. Awesome sauce. Literally awesome sauce. And now I'm just gonna close it up. Boop. And I'm gonna cut it in half to show you how beautiful this is. Nice and toasty. Awesome. Ah, look at that, friends. I am so excited to eat this sandwich. I cannot wait to hear how you liked your Fab Lab lunchbox today, and I would love to see what you are having for lunch today. Share your recipes with me on Instagram at the Fab Lab HQ, and then stick around because we have a very special community class coming up next. I'm ready. I tried to karate my balloon. Karate! Welcome back, everyone, to the Fab Lab Digital Daycare. I am so excited, as always, because today's community class is about something I am very, very, very passionate about, and you probably are too. Photography! Woo! I'm so excited to learn more about photography, but to do that, I need a little bit of extra help. And that's why I am introducing you to one of my most amazing new friends, the marvelous Mr. A. Woo! Hey, Mr. A.
How's it
Here we
going,
go.
Crazy
Woo.
Aunt Lindsey?
It's so good. What's the first thing that we do?
Wash our hands.
So while the marvelous Mr. A washes his hands, I just want to know, why are you teaching us our photography class today? Tell me more about you.
Well, photography is kind of my vehicle to feed my curiosity. There are so many things out there in this big, big world, and I think it's so important to document and capture these experiences that we have. Like, there's so many countries, there's so many beautiful castles, and I want to be the one there to take the photo of it.
Awesome, cool. What is it that you do in your everyday life?
My everyday life, I like to create things. Creating things is my bread and butter.
Awesome.
I really enjoy painting. I enjoy obviously taking photos. I enjoy writing, and I enjoy meditating and connecting with myself and figuring out what resonates with me, because everybody's so different, and we need to take the time and figure out what's important to us. What do we like to do with our time and energy?
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Very cool. So the marvelous Mr. A is joining us today in the Fab Lab. He's going to tell us all about cameras and how we can use our cameras to tell stories, to document, to capture things. So if you have a camera on hand, either a really awesome bajiggity one that your parents give you permission to use, or just a simple digital one. If all you have is an iPhone or an iTouch or something very small and simple like this, you can grab that and you can follow along with us. Okay, so take it away.
Awesome. So photography is about telling a story from your unique perspective. Nobody in the entire world sees the same things that you do as uniquely as you do.
Yeah, totally
and it's
true.
so important to capture from what you see, because no matter where you place your body, or how tall you are, how short you are, what angle you're sitting at, that perspective is going to be different than your friends or your neighbors or your brother or sister. So that's why photography is so cool, because everybody's interpretation of the same subject is going to produce a different story, and you get to decide what you like to share.
Nice.
So you can take photos of your parents. So your parents in a lot of instances are taller than you. So your perspective is going to be showing them at the height that they're at from the height that you're at.
Yeah.
But as you get older, that perspective is going to change. Once you get a little bit taller, that perspective of your parents might be eye level when you're in high school.
Yeah.
And that's a story that communicates the age and growth that occurs through time. So it's important that through time we take these moments to document what's happening around us with our friends, our new experiences, because we can look back on them when we get older.
Yeah, that reminds me of, it's so interesting that you talk about perspective, and it's not even just exclusively about height. Yes, it's about height, but even like how we're raised, where we're raised, the people we're raised around, the environments that we're in, those things can often condition us to see things from that different perspective, that sort of mental perspective, that imagination perspective. So when I was really probably about 8 or 9 years old, people would say to me all the time, "Oh, you look just like your mom, you look just like your mom." And it's funny because I would look at my mom and I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd be like, I don't look anything like my mom at all. And then when I was probably like in that age range, like 9 or 10, I came across a photograph of what I thought was myself. But it was actually my mom in the very early 60s when she was right around my age. And it was the first time that I realized, oh my gosh, I look just like my mom when she was my age. And so it's just like a little, how photographs helped me to gain that perspective.
Yeah.
People are telling me my whole life that I look like my mom, and I'm like, no, I don't look anything like her. We look totally different. And then I would there were multiple times throughout my life that I would mistake myself for my mom, or mistake my mom for me, and I'd be like, why did I take this photograph? And then I'm like, oh no, that's just when she was 25, and you know, now she's in her 60s. But anyway.
The same exact scenarios with my brother and my dad, the same exact face, and I'm like, okay, I understand. We're related apparently.
Genetics are awfully funny.
Nice. No, you did touch on a good point of the perspective is informed by our surroundings. And for me personally, street photography is the thing that I'm most passionate about, because I put myself in brand new situations, in new places, and meet new people all the time, because it's exciting to be in the moment and experience all these new cultures and new people and learning new languages, and different cities have different energies about them and different customs, and it's feeds my curiosity to be in a new country and try to understand how other people live, because that's the biggest teacher I've ever met in my life, is learning about other people and in their own personal cultures.
Yeah, you touched on a word, street photography.
Yes.
Can you talk about the different types of photography that there are?
Yeah, so street photography is essentially grabbing a camera, walking out your door, and just keep on going until you find inspiration and decide that you want to shoot that or take photographs of that. There's portrait photography, where you grab a friend, like Crazy Aunt Lindsey, and we take photos of your friends or your family. And you can kind of play dress up with it too, if you have ideas as you want to dress up like Batman or Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah.
That's and have that whole scenario. That's portrait photography, taking pictures of somebody's portrait. There's sports photography, so if you're into basketball, baseball, soccer, gymnastics, you'll be at those events taking photos of the event, of the basketball player, of LeBron James, like the actual action. So there's sports photography, portrait photography. My mind is drawing a blank right now.
I know that there's event photography.
Yes, event photography. Yeah, there's event photography. Basically, any scenario that humans can do can be photographed.
And actually, speaking of Mr. Aaron, the marvelous Mr. A, we went on our first Fab Lab field trip. We went to a local park here in Portland, Oregon, and we found inspiration absolutely everywhere. And if you haven't already, you'll start seeing some videos of our experience while we were there. And it was just it was so awesome to take photos of each other, take photos of the plants that we discovered, other people. I think there were some dogs that we found. There was a ton to do.
Yeah, definitely at the park, I was really focused on this one particular plant, and it took my interest, and I spent a lot of time there, which brings up nature photography. We are in Portland, Oregon, and there's a lot of nature around, and nature is a great tool to learn and to investigate, because it literally is endless. There's so many different species of plants, animals, rivers, lakes, that all have specific names and can all be captured within this lens.
So what makes a great photograph?
A great photograph, I think it's about capturing the decisive moment. Is when, for me personally, since I'm a street photographer, it's about capturing people moving around their environment, but then capturing a moment where either someone's surprised or angry or confident, or the way that they fill the frame with their body. And that leads us to composition. It's how we arrange our subject or focus point within this frame, because it's only a little square that I have to pick and choose which elements or which subjects I can place into it. So there is this rule called the rule of thirds.
The rule of thirds.
Yes, the rule of thirds, where the frame gets broken up into 3.
Actually,
What?
I can help with this.
Oh,
We
this
can-
will be much better to illustrate.
We have this awesome overhead camera and our awesome butcher paper, and you are free, sir, to draw
Beautiful.
to draw for our audience.
Okay, so let's see. Let's hope that I get this.
No pressure or anything.
Yeah, I think I can get it. Hopefully we are all in frame.
Yeah.
Can I get a thumbs
Yeah,
up?
awesome.
We got a thumbs up. Cool. So the rule of thirds is like this. Like that. So there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And just so you
One,
know, I
two,
think the
three.
camera is upside down, so I'm gonna write upside down for you.
Okay.
Rule of. I've been practicing.
You can do a 3 with the RDS.
I think it's backwards. Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful. So this is the rule of thirds.
Okay.
And typically when you do have time, like when you're setting up shots and it's not so quick and fast reactions, you typically follow the rule of thirds. And humans are very predisposed, which means we like symmetry. We like things that are even. And to make something very even as a beginner photographer, you can take a photo of something right in the middle. And that's gonna mean that both sides, there's weight on all sides, and it's all symmetrical around
Evenly
this
distributed.
person. Yes, exactly, evenly distributed. So this creates symmetry. So another part of the rule of
That
thirds.
looks just like me.
Does it?
Beautiful.
So I gotta get your hair. Gotta get your bandana.
The
The bow. The bow. Big
Nice.
smile.
Fantastic.
Perfect. Another part of the rule of thirds is we can move this person on this line. Anything on this line right here creates weight over here, so we can anchor the subject over here. But then that leaves all this room to tell a story. So the eye will travel to this person right here, or subject, whether it's a dog or a building or a bike. The rest of this space right here is also used to tell the story. So whether it's the street that you live on, and then there's all the other houses that are going up the street, the sidewalk, and a bus coming down the street, having this extra room right here is gonna allow us to fill the frame with other things that you see. When we put the subject in the very center of the frame, we can't really see what's happening on the other side. So that's a little introduction to the rule of thirds.
Awesome.
Breaking down the frame into vertical and horizontal quadrants. Big word, Q word. Quadrants. And we just arrange them as
Yeah.
such to create the story and to create symmetry and alignment.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. And actually, we were listening to the marvelous Mr. A talking about story and storytelling in photography when we were out over the weekend. I found myself asking a lot, what's the story here? Because we went to take photographs of the plants, and at a certain point I didn't understand what I was taking a photograph of, and so I started to ask myself as I was taking the photograph, what is the story here? And I realized that what I was seeing, the story that I was inspired by, was the fact that I was, here with a new friend, and I think we met for the first time.
Yeah, that was our first time meeting.
We have a friend in common. But I met this person for the first time, and he was here to teach me about photography. But I also had our crew here, the people that are helping us bring the live stream to you, my producer Preston, and one of my videographers Walls. They were capturing us on this photography journey. And so I realized in the moment that the story that I was seeing, where the marvelous Mr. A, he was captivated by the plant, I was captivated by the work and the journey that my two guys were going on, trying to get the right angles, trying to get the right shots of marvelous Mr. A, of me. And so I began documenting the people that were documenting us, and created some pretty interesting photographs. But it was the first time I'd ever asked myself, what's the story here? I've always thought of myself as a bad photographer, because I didn't think my photos really came out that well. And I realized that part of what was happening was I didn't have a grasp of the rule of thirds, and I also wasn't asking myself, what's the story? And so in each moment, I would look through the lens and say, what's the story here? And then the story, just by asking that question, revealed itself. I didn't go there with a story. I didn't go there with a plan. We didn't go there with a plan. But it was a really interesting exercise that helped me to take better photos. I'm actually really proud of what I came up with. Just asking that one simple question: what's the story in right now? Not what do I want to capture, but what's the story that's happening in this moment? And then pairing it with the rule of thirds, I think I took some pretty great photos.
Yeah, I love the photos that you took, and the camera will guide you to what you want to shoot, and it's literally anything. That's the freedom of it is I think what attracts me to, and you experienced it as well in doing documentary photography, like seeing the things around you and highlighting your crew at work is something that you were drawn to, but nobody told you to do it. Right. So you have the choice. Yeah. I'm gonna take a photo of the cat tomorrow. That's what I'm gonna do is document every single day of the cat, if you want to, and the freedom of choice to choose what you want to take photos of is something that keeps me coming back, and it seems like it got you really, really excited.
No, really excited, and it's so funny you're saying cat. I have a cat at home who is crazy. And now I'm like, I'm gonna photograph how crazy her life is. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the some of the technical skills and technical aspects of taking photography. Why don't we talk a little bit about the different types of cameras that we might have?
Okay, so there are countless cameras. There's all these different varying scales, prices, technical capabilities, but the most important camera is the one that you decide to use.
True.
It doesn't matter how expensive it is or what it looks like. It matters that you have it in your hands and it's available to you so that you can take the photo and not miss the opportunity. So there are tons of cameras. I typically use, this is my old vintage film camera.
And I'm gonna just scoot back a little bit so that Mr. Aaron and I can maintain distancia social while you guys can see his really awesome camera.
So this is an old camera. This was probably made in the 80s.
Oh wow.
So it's
excuse me, things that were made in the 80s are not old.
I was made in the 80s.
I was made in the 80s.
All three of us were made in the 80s. But this is the camera that I really enjoy because it's not really technologically advanced at all. It's manual, and
so this is a manual camera.
Yeah, this is a manual SLR camera.
And what I would have is what's called a digital camera.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're able to take a lot of photos and review those photos pretty much immediately.
Go ahead.
And the reason that I use this is so when I'm out on the street and I'm interacting with people and having different experiences, I don't get bothered with looking at the image that I just took, so I can stay in that moment and not pull away. And everybody has their own reasons for why they use X, Y, and Z camera. But like I said, it's whichever one gets you inspired to shoot every single day is the perfect camera for you.
Awesome. And so what, talking about, kids, a lot of our Fab Labbers are between the ages of like 5 and 12. What are some of the best things that they can do, that their families can do, to help them get involved with photography?
I think first and foremost is get the camera in your hand and create like fun little projects. Like I play dress up with my friends all the time. Like we go to stores.
I need to become better friends with
Marvelous
Mr.
Yeah,
A
we play dress up. We play dress up all the time.
I play dress up at my house. And no one's ever taken photos.
But it's like when you play dress up, you wanna be able to have photos of your experience.
True story.
Yeah, so I think making a day out of it, making a project out of it, deciding on what story you want to tell with the photo, and having that pre-lead up before the photo shoot is always fun. It's always fun just to run around with the camera and see what you can find. Like getting really, really close up to flowers and flies, and just getting down into nature and like a garden, like really close-up shots in a garden seem like a lot of fun. So I think it's just getting the camera in your hand, whether it's a cell phone or whether it's like a camera like this or a digital camera, but I think it's getting it in your hands and just shooting, taking photos immediately. There's not a lot of lead-in or preparation that's really required to taking photos.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
I just want to thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah.
And also, tomorrow we're going to be doing mindful minutes with me.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you a little bit about mindfulness, how I calm myself down when I'm feeling a little bit agitated. So it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm so stoked. Well, hopefully you have learned a little bit more about what it means to take photographs and how you can get started on your photography journey. Asking yourself, what's the story here? And then of course, practicing the rule of thirds. I'm much older than you guys, and that has totally just within one afternoon completely changed the game for my photography skills, and I'm so excited to keep practicing. I would love to see the photos that you come up with and create on your own, with your family, with your friends. You can share them with me, have your family share them with me by tagging the FabLab HQ or sending them directly to me at hey@thefablab.com. I would love to see what you come up with, the different stories that you learned how to tell, and just whatever practice that you have, because practice makes perfect, and there's no such thing as perfect, so just keep practicing. Stick around, because next I have another book from the awesome Fab Lab Library. See you in a sec. Welcome to the Fab Lab Library, everyone. I'm so stoked for story time today because we're reading a book that one of my friends wrote. Yes, it's true. We've been walking through a kid's book for the past couple weeks, and I have been so excited about this one. My girlfriend, Rebecca Alexander, wrote this particular book to help us learn a little bit more about our body image and what it means to have a good self-image. You ready? Let's do it. A kid's book about body image by Rebecca Alexander. You were probably drawn to this book because you have a kid in your life, period. Not one single person is exempt from body image struggles, and yet we rarely talk about these feelings with others. We feel alone in our insecurities. We feel like what's wrong with us is our fault, and that can make us feel ashamed. When we feel this way, very serious problems can arise. Things like eating disorders, exercise disorders, and other forms of self-harm. I hope that this book will help share the feelings that you have, will help you share the feelings that you have about your body. I hope you'll talk about them, and I hope that you'll encourage the kids in your life to do the same. You might think you know what this book is about, but you really don't. Yes, I'm going to talk about body image. But you probably think that means I'm going to say things like, "You're beautiful just the way you are. What you look like doesn't matter. It's what's on the inside that counts. If you love yourself, it shouldn't matter what other people think." But this isn't a book about that. You might believe all those things are about other people, and you probably don't believe them about yourself. You might hate the way you sweat. You might hate the way you look in the mirror. You might hate the way your clothes fit. You might hate the size of your feet, or how skinny your arms are, or just hate your whole body. I've been there too. And I still am sometimes. You see, I'm big. Like, really big. I'm taller than average, but what makes me really big is I'm fat. Okay. You might have heard calling someone fat is mean, that it's wrong. And that definitely can be true. Some people call other people fat because they want to hurt their feelings. That is so not cool. Don't do that. But when I call myself fat, I'm not being mean to myself. And I don't think being fat is a bad thing anymore. Being fat is a part of who I am. I'm also white. I have blondish hair and beautiful green eyes. I threw the beautiful part in there. I wear glasses and I walk around with my dog a lot. I'm usually smiling, but sometimes I'm not. I wear jeans, I wear dresses, I wear sneakers, and I wear high heels. I wear bright colors, and I wear lots of black. But when people see me on the street, the first thing they notice about me is how fat I am. I wish they'd notice how cute my outfits were or how friendly my smile was, but they don't. And sometimes when I notice them noticing how fat I am, I wish I could disappear. Because even though I know I'm beautiful just the way I am, what I look like doesn't matter, it's what's on the inside that counts, because I love myself, it shouldn't matter what other people think, I still have days where I don't feel good about my body. Days when I don't love my body or myself. You probably have days like that too. Everyone does. And here's why. Are you ready? I'm going to tell you what I'm about to tell you is kind of big. It's huge, actually. How huge? That huge. Gigantic, actually. There are a gazillion companies and people in the world who claim they have a product that will fix whatever is wrong with you. They'll make your skin lighter, your muscles bigger, your hair straighter, your teeth whiter, and they'll make you lose weight. These companies would never make a single dollar if you didn't believe there was something about you that needed to be fixed. True story. So these companies spend lots of money on advertisements to make you think that if you buy their stuff, you'll become smaller, prettier, stronger, and that all of your problems will go away. But that is not true. Here's the real truth. Nothing about you needs to be fixed. Full stop. Your skin is the color that it's supposed to be. Your muscles are the size they are supposed to be. Your hair is as curly as it's supposed to be. And your teeth don't need to be any whiter than they already are. And you do not need to lose weight. Don't believe me? Right now, your body is doing hundreds of things that let you think, feel, breathe, and live. Your bones are growing. White blood cells are fighting off germs and viruses. Your heart is pumping pints of blood all the way from your pinky toe to your pinky finger. Our book pages didn't get cut properly. This is amazing. This is live, everybody. Your body is amazing. Here's a mirror. It is so good at stuff. Scientists all over the world are trying to build robots and sensors and computers that do things as well as your body does them. Your body is really freaking awesome. And this very special body of yours, it can tell you what it needs. So listen to it. Let the voice that says, I'm hungry, speak louder than the one that says, I have to be skinny. Let the voice that says, that soccer game looks like fun, speak louder than the one that says, but what if I get sweaty? Let the voice that says, I really want to go swimming, speak louder than the one that says, but what if I look funny? Think about all the great things about you. Maybe you're a really fast runner, or you're a genius, or you can cook a lot of chicken nuggets, or you're the best Fortnite player in your class, or you're a really good friend. You always have the best ideas, you're trustworthy, you can turn any bad day into a good one, and if you can't think of anything that's great about you, ask a grown-up, because they will tell you. All these things matter a lot. They make you you. And they're far more important than how your eyebrows look or whether you have a pimple. So repeat after me. I am who I am, 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 who I am. Get it? You are you. Love your body because it's yours and it's the only one that you will ever have. Thank you so much to my awesome friend, Rebecca Alexander, for working with A Kid's Book About to write this incredible book. Everything in it is true. You're you, I'm me, and we're fabulous just the way we are. Thanks so much for joining me in the Fab Lab Digital Daycare today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.